care. He's like a journeyman who fights to win all the time. Why I think this fight was significant, different reasons actually. Firstly, he caused Brezeale a lot of problems, certainly in the second half of the fight. And also, he caught... in fact, he found Brezeale repeatedly with the jab throughout the whole fight. Now, this is a guy... Aguilera is about 6'2", 6'3", something like that. If he can find Dominic Brezeale with the jab repeatedly and the right hand, even more worrying, could find him with the right hand, then Anthony Joshua's definitely going to hit him, because Joshua's taller, longer, faster, more accurate. He's a better class boxer, and he's going to find Brezeale. He's going to hit him, and Joshua, as we know, is a huge puncher. He's a monstrous puncher. If he catches him in the first couple of rounds, it only takes one shot. That will be the end of the story. And Brezeale isn't going to come and... I don't think he's going to move. I don't think he's going to prove too fiddly. I think there's two ways he could approach the fight. One is to try and outbox Joshua. That's not going to happen. So I don't think he's going to do that. If he comes looking for Joshua, trying to cut the ring off, close the space down, find him with big shots early, he'd probably still get beat, but I think he's got a bigger chance of winning, and for that reason I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to look at videos. He's a come forward guy. He doesn't like boxing sideways or backwards. He likes to come forward looking to land big shots and cut the ring off, and I think that's what he'll do here. And I think it will probably be to his detriment, but at least it gives him a chance of winning, and it's not impossible for him to land a shot. And the only time I've ever seen Joshua hit is against Dillian Whyte, and he had big problems. He had big problems. And who punches harder out of Brezeale and Dillian Whyte? If I had to put my last pound in it, I'd probably edge Brezeale. I'd probably say he hits a little bit harder. Dillian Whyte can punch, for sure he can. I mean, I had a boxer, Brazilian guy called Nascimento, who boxed Tyson Fury, and he boxed also Dillian Whyte. And after Dillian Whyte fight was at my show at the Camden Centre, I said, who punches the hardest out of those two? As you know, if you follow the blog, I'm a gambling man. I like to know these things, and also from a matchmaking point of view, it's helpful. That's it. And it took him a second. He said, "Oh, Dillian Whyte punches harder." So, do I think Dillian Whyte would beat Fury? I doubt it, because Fury's got a lot of moves and he's got a lot of artillery, if you like, that would probably see him as a favourite. But Dillian Whyte can punch, and I'd probably edge. I think I'd say Brezeale looks like he hits a little bit harder. He again is more upright than Dillian Whyte, and I think he has the power to trouble Joshua. Why would they pick this guy who he's very hungry and focused? I can tell you he's not just going to come here. I feel really confident he is not going to do a Charles Martin. This guy is going to come and get stuck in. I'm sure of that. Like I say, probably to his detriment, but I'm sure he's going to do it. One reason why I thought actually not such a bad choice of opponent, I reckon, I haven't got any inside knowledge on this. I mean, I speak to people in boxing obviously all the time. No one's sort of given me a nudge or sort of told me, but I think the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight might happen sooner than, like in times previously, fights like this would take sometimes years even to make. The way that they both strike me, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, they want to make their money now, and I think that they will probably want to make that fight sooner rather than later. And if I was managing Anthony Joshua, this is a sort of opponent, forget world titles, this is a sort of fight that you'd maybe want to take before you fight Tyson Fury, because the height, for one, you can imagine all the sparring Joshua will have been with tall guys, people that can prepare him for Brezeale. But then when he fights Fury, it's another tall guy. It can be a problem if these big tall guys are used to fighting short people and suddenly they get a tall one. There's all sorts of, it's a learning curve. There's all sorts of things that can be issues. And I think it makes sense, right? Fight this Brezeale guy who AJ's a big favourite to beat. I don't think he should be 20-1. Never. I mean, as a bookmaker, I would never ever offer 20-1. I think that's crazy, and I think there's value in that 20-1. Even if I think Joshua wins it, I think the odds should be a lot shorter than that. But if he deals okay with the height, then with Brezeale's height, then I think quite likely the Tyson Fury fight might get made off the back of it, because they'll be confident with Sky Sports behind them. That financial clout, I think, will encourage the Furies to do business. And Tyson Fury and the people around him, they strike me like they're the kind of people, they want to make business happen. I don't think they want to sit on him as this sort of golden egg layer for forever. I think they want to go and make money now and make him a worldwide phenomenon, like a huge big star that he's capable of being. And on what they've shown so far, I'd have to have Tyson Fury ahead of Joshua. He's been tested more. Obviously, he's had some bad moments. He's sort of been clipped a couple of times and had to pick himself up off the floor against guys that really weren't renowned huge punchers, which you then think, well, he's going to go and fight Joshua, that's going to be a problem for him. But my own gut feeling is that's the path that they're going to go down. They're going to want to go down. The other fight that I seen Brezeale in that I think is relevant was Amir Mansour. Now, Amir Mansour, I mean, I had him offered to fight against guys that I've managed before, and I always avoided it. I looked at him. He had a deal with a casino in America where he was boxing, and he was in prison for a long time. He's quite old, but he looked quite fresh. And all the videos, you can tell this guy is a huge puncher, a massive puncher. And he decked Brezeale, and he caused Brezeale all sorts of problems. And Brezeale actually showed a lot of heart in that fight, because he was looking jaded. He gets whacked with this shot early on and looking a little bit out of sorts. And he picked himself up off the floor and he came back into the fight. And that is one of the reasons why I'm sure, look, if he fought like that against Amir Mansour, when it should have been for pocket money compared to what he'll be getting for this fight, and if he wins this fight, what he'll get for the next one after that. So that's why I'm certain this guy is not going to come and just take the money, sit on the floor. Because Charles Martin got sort of gifted the title in a very sort of, I would say, dubious way. And Charles Martin's team were really confident, but I know them well because Charles Martin boxed Rafael Zambano, who I manage, and they were really confident. But I wasn't. I thought, well, he could cause problems if he boxes the best that he can. He's quite tight defensively. He's got a good trainer. He's quite an intelligent guy. If he really delivers, but look, he didn't deliver. He went in there. I think it was a bit like startled, caught in the headlights. He boxed awful, got caught with some shots, and just fell to pieces. But okay, when Mansour hit Brezeale goes down, gets up, showed a huge amount of heart to hold it together, and he actually broke Mansour's jaw. But for me, it was more he broke his heart. He just, whatever Mansour came at him with, he just had the answer. Big difference, Mansour's a lot shorter, Joshua's a lot taller, and I think Joshua is a much better boxer technically than Mansour is, so he's going to cause more problems. He's going to hit Brezeale. Is, for me, I mean, we're going to find out a lot about him, because he's only really had a couple of fights which to me are like, okay, we can learn from that, because he was just going in blazing through someone that's hapless. Like Joshua, a lot of his first few, if you just said to the and it's difficult for even with me, I got guys that they asked me before the fight, what do you think I should do with this guy? And for some of them, for the first 10, 12, 15 fights, the tactics are almost identical for all of them, because I know they're so much far ahead technically, skill-wise, that okay, maybe you can see he makes this mistake, but for this fight, just go and, land your jab, gauge your distance, get your feet into range, and they'll walk through those first 10 guys. And I think Brezeale, a lot of his fights have been the same. But look, Mansour, he had a hard fight. Nagy Aguilera, he had a hard fight, and he would have learned a lot about himself. And because he's had those kind of fights, I think that puts him in a good position from which to fight Joshua. Do I have him as a favourite? No. I mean, what's my prediction for the fight? My prediction is this. I don't think AJ's going to go flying in looking for big shots in the first couple of rounds. I think he's too clever for that, and I think even if he does do that, he'll find out very quickly that Brezeale's actually a much better boxer than a 20-1 shot, and I think he could run into problems. I think Joshua will box him because of that. Also, now Joshua's had the Dillian White fight, I'm sure he realises himself he can't just go blazing into everybody and they'll sort of crumble. And Brezeale is a guy that I don't think will crumble. I think he could well get stopped, but I think mentally he'll hold it together, and I think he will put some problems. You know, he'll be hitting Joshua. He'll catch Joshua. He'll hit him back, and because of that, Joshua's going to take his time. So we've done a competition. I mean, you can still enter it now on Hellraiser Boxing. You can win some tickets. You subscribe to the Hellraiser Boxing YouTube channel, predicting the round. Then you tweet me once you've subscribed to the Hellraiser Boxing channel. You tweet me the round and the name of who you think is going to win the Joshua Brezeale fight. And we've had loads of people round 1 and round 2 for Joshua. I think Joshua's actually going to be a bit more patient. I think even if he's not patient, I don't think he's just going to walk in, clip him and knock him out. I think Brezeale will be walking forwards, walking into him, but I think he'll also be very tight defensively. Brezeale has a tendency to drop his left hand, but I think in this fight, if he does that, he's going to get caught. So I think we might see him a little bit tighter, if not right from the off. From the first time he feels Joshua's jab, I think we'll see that. So my prediction, I'm actually stepping out of what most people seem to think it's a 1 or 2 round fight. I'm leaning more like 4 or 5 rounds. In fact, I don't like people that say, yeah, I predict he wins knockout between 3 and 7 or something. Look, just say a round. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. So I'm going to say round 5, AJ to win by stoppage. And I think we might see some surprises along the way. I think you might see Joshua in a few more problems than what people anticipate. He's a very good boxer. He's fast. He's obviously can punch like a beast. But he hasn't boxed enough top-level guys yet for me to say, yeah, he just walked through this guy, because I don't think he will just walk through him. We'll see. And then, look, you've got the fights that will no doubt it'll be very interesting in the coming weeks after this fight to see what presents himself, bearing in mind that, you know, Joshua might not win it, but if he does win it, you've got Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. There's a lot of big fights there for him. So prediction is 5 rounds. My other prediction is that it will actually be a much better fight than what we're anticipating. I'm not going to go overboard on the betting on this fight. In fact, I'm probably going to swerve betting on it, just because I think there's too much of a chance that it could be quick for a quick win for Joshua, and I think that removes a lot of the value in the betting, because although I'm going to say round 5, I don't think there's enough value in it to do that. Although I do have a big bet coming up next month that I will be saying I feel very confident that you'll get the best value betting wise in that fight. So I'll be revealing that in the next couple of weeks as we get nearest to the fight and once I've got my own money down. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you soon. See you then. Bye bye.